If you are ready to become the woman God has called you to be while also preparing for the husband that God has for you, then this video is for you. In this video, I want to share the steps that you should take to position yourself for a godly husband. Now, let me be clear. This is not a video about chasing a man or tricks you can use that will get a man, but it is about becoming the woman God has called you to be so that you can be found by the godly man that God is waiting to send your way. Now, I made a previous video of how you can know God is preparing you for marriage, but in this video, I am going to tell you how you can prepare yourself for your future marriage. And of course, growing and getting closer to God and praying will always be priority in your wait. But if you find yourself wondering while waiting, these steps I have in this video will definitely help you prepare for the one. So without further ado, let's get to it. So, the first step that you should take revolves around your mindset, and that is to do it for yourself first. Yes, first things first, and that first thing is you. You got to do this for you. You don't prepare for a godly husband just because you want one, but you prepare for a godly husband because you are committed to becoming the best version of yourself. You're committed to not only waiting for this God fearing, financially stable, in shape, well spoken man to come along, but you're also making sure that everything you want that man to be, that you are as well. Or shall I say spouse? Because that applies to a man waiting on a wife as well. Confident, godly women are like magnets for godly men. And it's simply because they can see when a woman has taken the time to work on herself mentally, physically, financially, emotionally, and spiritually. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to be perfect or you won't have any flaws, but making your personal growth and development a priority will allow you to fall in love with yourself. It will also make it easier for your future husband to find and love you. And it will keep you from also entertaining relationships that don't mean you well. Because when you are well put together and you have your mindset where it should be, there are just certain things and people that you will not tolerate or allow to keep taking up space in your life. So, to help with this, you should be asking yourself, how am I showing up for myself in different areas of my life? Am I spending time in God's word to grow spiritually? Am I taking care of my body with exercise and eating well? Am I managing my finances wisely? And all these things are great things to ask yourself because they don't just prepare you for marriage, but they prepare you for the life that God has called you to lead. The next thing that you should do is to remove limiting beliefs. I believe this is definitely a mindset change that can open up so many blessings in our lives because so many of us carry limiting beliefs that will block our blessings. And when it comes to waiting for God to send you a husband, you might be thinking there aren't enough godly men out there, or there are just too many men in jail, or all the good ones are already taken. Listen, let me tell you this right now. Those are lies straight from the enemy. And it even says in Proverbs in 23 and 7 that, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. And that means what you set your mind on or whatever your thoughts are will shape who you are and what your reality will be. God has someone for you, sis, and he's not limited by the amount of men who are or are not left in the world. When I met my husband, I found out that he lived about 3 miles from where I lived. Yes, 3 miles. Can you believe that my husband was less than 5 minutes from me and we had never crossed paths? But God still had plans to connect us at the right time. So you have to let go of the belief that there aren't enough good men or that he's never going to come because of how long you've been waiting. You have to start speaking life over yourself and your future. If you have a strong desire to be married, you have to know that you serve a loving father who wants to give you good and great things. Psalms 37 and 4 says that if you delight yourself in the Lord, he will give you the desires of your heart. And I believe that as long as your desires are aligned with God's will and not driven by selfish motives, he will do exactly what his word says and honor your desires to be married. The next step I would suggest you do is to get around other healthy married couples. Emphasis on the healthy. Now, of course, you can never really know what goes on behind closed doors of people's marriages, but you need to make sure that you take precaution with the married couples that you choose to be around and receive from. And when you find those couples, or even if it's just one couple, being around mature, happy, and healthy married couples can give you wisdom, advice, and insights on how married couples navigate the successes and challenges within a marriage. And if the couples are open to it that you are around, they can also become a positive influence to you while you're in your waiting season. They can help show you what are some realistic expectations in marriage and provide encouragement and support to you in your season of waiting by helping to remind you of the rewards of being patient and prepared. I always encourage married people to do what works best for their marriage because what works for one couple may not work for others. But simply put, married couples have been there and done that when it comes to navigating a single season. And the mistakes and victories that we have made can be helpful to you while you are in your waiting season. Another step to take while preparing for your godly husband is fasting for direction. So, when you want clear directions from God, fasting will do just that. But let me be clear, fasting isn't just about giving up food, it's about setting aside distractions to completely focus on God, to deepen your relationship with Him, and to hear from Him. Sometimes we have to quiet the noise in our lives in order to hear what God is saying to us, and fasting is a great way to do so. And in your season of waiting, God may be calling you to move to a new city, start a new job, or let go of something that's holding you back from the things that you are actually praying for. So if you're feeling stuck or unsure about the next step you should take in your waiting season, take the time to fast and pray because you can't fast without praying. Trust me when I say God will always guide you when you seek Him first. The next step is an important one, and that is to heal from your past. Healing is a big one, and it's not always easy, of course, but I highly recommend that you take the time to address any past trauma, whether it's family drama, childhood wounds, toxic friendships, or being heartbroken from any previous relationships. You don't want to carry that baggage of trauma into your future marriage. And trust me, when you go into a marriage with unresolved issues that you think you don't care about or you think you have buried, they will show up in some way, form, or fashion in your marriage. So do yourself and your future marriage a favor and either talk to a therapist, get a mentor, or even a trusted friend who you believe you can confide in and that you believe will give you sound advice. And remember, healing is a process, it's not a destination. But the more that you heal, the more you can love yourself and others the way that God intended for you to. The next step is one that I wish I would have worked on more, and that is to obtain financial stability and get multiple streams of income. Getting yourself financially stable will be a game changer for you, your marriage, and your future family you may someday start if you so choose to. And no, marriage is not a financial plan. You are your own financial plan. Your husband can make multiple six figures when you meet and marry him. But God forbid, 6 months into your marriage, everything could change drastically. A job loss, an accident, anything can happen. So I highly recommend that you get your coins together now for yourself. Creating multiple streams of income, whether that's through a side hustle, investments, or saving aggressively can all allow you to live the life you want to live right now in your single season and when you meet your future husband. Not to mention, you don't want a lack of financial stability to be what stands in the way of you and your future love moving forward or towards marriage. If you watch my previous video of how God told me my husband was the one, I mentioned that my husband lost his well paying job 2 months into us dating. But absolutely nothing changed about us dating because he had savings and investment, and I also had a well paying job. So we were able to continue on with our usual dating life. And he actually proposed before he even secured another job because he was financially stable. Now, although I was what I considered financially stable, I wish I had worked on securing more streams of income because I strongly believe that one income is too close to no income. But that's another video for another day. But definitely make this area a priority in preparing for your husband. And while you're at it, start also learning about budgeting, saving, and investing. Your future self will thank you for it later. The next step is to take care of your body. Ladies, whether you are preparing for a husband or not, take care of your temple. That means exercising, eating healthy, and keeping yourself looking put together. When you feel good in your body, it boosts your confidence and energy. And it's not about vanity, but it's more about stewardship. And if you don't know, stewardship is managing and caring for something that God has given you and doing so for the purpose of glorifying Him. God has given you life inside of your body. So, one way you can glorify Him is by taking care of it. Now, I'm not going to get into any specifics on what you should do with your body, but keep in mind the type of husband that you would like to have and make sure that you are exactly the same thing that you are looking for. So, if you want him in shape, an in shape man is probably going to expect his woman to be in shape as well. And I know I may get some flack for this one, but when I said keep yourself looking put together, that includes things like not wearing bonnets outside of your house, even if you're just making a quick run. You always want to look presentable. Make it a habit to always pull yourself together because although there will be excusable times that you may look a hot mess, like for instance, if you're sick or something, no respectable, godly man looking for a wife is going to be okay with the woman who doesn't take pride in her appearance or takes care of her temple. And I'll just leave it at that. And the last step is one that's not mandatory, but is one that I recommend, and that is to travel and explore. I recommend that you do not wait until you're married to start living your life. While you are single, you should travel and explore and enjoy new experiences, even if it's just for like a weekend trip and it's somewhere that's close by. Traveling expands your mind and it introduces you to new perspectives and it gives you memories that you'll cherish forever and will be able to share with your future husband. I am not someone who just absolutely loves to travel, but when I was single, I had friends who were always going to different places, and I am so glad that I joined them and participated because it helped to keep my mind off of waiting for one. I also created memories with them, and if I wanted to extend or stay on my trip for longer than I had planned, I could do so. If I wanted to completely change plans altogether, I could do so. And these are just a few of the perks, but not to mention, you never know where God might lead you or who you just might meet along the way while you're traveling and enjoying life. So please remember, preparing for a godly husband starts with preparing yourself. When you focus on becoming the woman God created you to be, everything else will fall into place. I pray that this video was helpful to you, and I would love for you to let me know in the comments which of these steps you are working on right now or steps that you plan to start working on. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay blessed.